Hello?
Hi, Josh. Here's Lanvall.
Hi, how's it going?
Everything fine. And you too?
I'm doing great, and it's great to be able to talk to you again.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, awesome. Well, like I just said, it's great to be able to talk to you again and talk about this really awesome release that's just going to be coming out in a couple days now through Steam Hammer and SPV, showing off the best of the last 5 albums of Edenbridge, the Chronicles of Eden Part 2.
Yes. Where should I begin? I should say the idea was born in along with the last studio album, Dynamite. And SPV had the idea to do one more best of album, and because they offered us some good conditions around that. And so we pretty much did everything like we did with the Chronicles of Eden Part 1 back in 2007, when we asked the fans to take part in choosing their favorite songs. And this time it was great because we had room for 4 songs of each of the 5 albums to incorporate on this record. And the great thing was that it was pretty much the same what the fans chose, what we would have chosen. So those were pretty much the same songs. This was the one part, and then we also tried to integrate the bonus tracks, which are not available anymore, and 3 new versions, acoustic versions of already existing songs. So I think this was a good package, and hopefully the fans will like it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they will, and I know I am for sure. I mean, especially for the previous the bonus tracks that come along with it. I mean, being able to hear like acoustic versions, and I mean, that was my favorite part, was just like hearing the alternate takes of those. I mean, when you're so used to hearing them electric, and then you get the acoustic versions. I just think that's so cool to be able to see what that's like.
Absolutely, I think this is also what maybe puts the point on the top for this best of album, because you also need to offer the fans something really new instead of just something that already exists, because the diehard fans, of course, have all those albums. But the good thing is then also for the diehard fans, there is something something new, so there is some kind of a special thing to buy the album. And I pretty much wanna mention the acoustic version of Higher, which is I think which turned out to be cool in the end, because it has some jazzy feel, and this was something very special to make. Because I changed nearly all the chords and turned them into some altered jazz chords, and I think this gives the song a very special feel, and something I think this is also something we haven't done before. So it's always great to do the unexpected.
Oh, absolutely, and being able to hear Higher in that take, it is easily my favorite track of the whole best of collection. I mean, being able to hear that
Cool.
take, being able to... Oh, not a problem. Yeah, but like you said, like being able to do some changes on there, making it more jazzy, using those jazz chords, being able to switch things around like that, and, you know, not really being known for doing something like that, too. I mean, I always love it when a band is able to expand, no matter how long they've been together, if they always find, like, a new way to be able to expand their sound, and being able to hear Higher, for example, and just, like, showing off that acoustic side of what Edenbridge could be, it's just so cool.
Yeah, thanks a lot. This is exactly what I wanted to reach, and I heard one journalist a couple of weeks ago when we did an interview, and the song reminded him performed in a smoky bar in New York City in the 20s or 30s, and I think this. Then I said mission accomplished, because this is what I exactly wanted to transport with this new version, and it made tremendous fun, because it basically it was recorded live. I recorded the piano live. There is no click track and everything, so it needed to have this feel, and juggling around with those chords, it was tremendous fun. to turn it into this new version.
So, with that in mind, I mean, when you finally heard the final product and you had so much fun being able to re-record this and be able to take a different spin on it, do you see yourself ever doing that in the future again with other songs?
Oh, possibly. Why not? I mean, it's always difficult because Paramount, the second songs I chose because this was the second most popular song by the fans. Voted by the fans, but this was harder to transform into maybe an equally original version like Higher, because the feel of the song did not turn out to be, let's say, so differently. So it was hard to transform the chords there without losing the original feel. And in the term of Higher, it was so much easier. So not every song, of course, is meant to be changed into something different. So you always have to take it song by song, I would say. But as you said, it's definitely an option to do maybe certain songs, or maybe an album into changing more songs. Who knows what the future brings?
Oh, absolutely. I could totally see that being like a EP or a full LP of songs like that, or being able to do like a special shows, like a special acoustic shows like that, doing a full set of that. I mean, there's quite a few possibilities if the songs do work out that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can always incorporate one or two of those songs in a live set. To do a whole live set with this would be a bit different, because then, as you heard, those songs are only for piano and vocals. But of course, if you do a whole set, you would have to incorporate the other members too. But never say never. I mean, let's see what the next years will bring. But of course, now it's time to focus on new stuff, which is of course the reason why we still love to make music and love to compose, of course.
Oh, and it's so great to see that too. I mean, usually when bands put out a collection like this, usually it's either the sign of a record deal being done, or the band feels like they need to do a massive change or something like that. But the fact that you've done this in 2 parts now, being able to show off the first 5 albums and the next 5 albums, I'm very excited to see where the band's going to be going next.
Yeah, I already started to write new stuff, and I have almost 30 minutes of music written for the next release in 2022. So the new stuff is quite heavy in our terms, and also there are plenty of surprise moments. So let's see where the rest will go.
Oh, yeah, that definitely sounds like it's going to be up my alley already, and just like being able to finalize those songs and everything that comes with that, I think that's just going to be great. But thinking about that in mind too, I mean, obviously with being able to work on a best of collection like you have now, and then already working on the next album, I mean, what is that like when you have all of this going on in Edenbridge right now in these turbulent times that we're living in?
Well, to be honest, I used the times of the first lockdown to really get into to writing new stuff, because you have to be productive, of course, again. And I think I finished 4 songs, but then in summer the mood was not so good. The creative atmosphere was not so good. So I often have this in summer, and then I put it away, go into the mountains, do stuff for my body in terms of going hiking or something, and then get back with fresh energy in most of the times in autumn, because spring and autumn are my best creative seasons, I would say, and winter and summer is always good for doing sports outside and going skiing and everything, and reload the batteries and get into new ideas. So I think this is my normal rhythm, and I would say the best of album most of the stuff it was not like doing a normal album, because it was mainly choosing the songs and then record 3 new versions and taking care of the artwork and everything, and the whole organization. But of course, it cannot be compared with a normal studio album, of course, and the amount of work which is going in.
Yeah, and it's great to hear that you do have that regiment that's been going on and being able to help you both mentally, musically, and of course physically as well too, like going by the seasons and being able to adapt to those situations, whether you're writing songs or you're going out and skiing or hiking, it's like all of that is so good for the system, especially when you have a creative mind to be able to either write things down or to be able to just recharge the batteries mentally.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to learn also to put things back and not to be. You cannot be creative all the time. This is very difficult. And if you adapt your body to the system, then you know when it's time to put things away and when to put it back out of the drawer. And of course, even if I'm not arranging maybe at times or being in the studio, the mind is always working on new ideas, and if there is a new idea, I write it down, but then put it away and come back when the time is ready, of course.
Oh, very much so. And I can imagine in times like these too. I mean, obviously, like you mentioned before, like during the next lockdown, you didn't have much inspiration going on for songwriting because of circumstances, but I can also imagine when you do have that at home and you do have the creativity going on, then there's a little more time to be creative as well too. That way, you're not like pushing yourselves towards a deadline or anything, but you're able to like decide how the song's going to go, what could be added, what could be taken out, and just like really refine the songs.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty normal system in my case, because I'm working on the ideas not forever, but if I'm into the arranging process, of course every little weakness of notes or parts, I'm trying to be 100% bring it 100% to the top. And if I have the opinion that it cannot be done better, then I think it's the point when the song is finished. And I think I was driving quite well with this working method, because listening back to the old albums, there is not much to change in my opinion, because I'm that consistent and not consistent, but I'm that 100% I would say hard to myself in reaching what I want to reach. I think this is, and you also have to be self-critical. I think self-criticalness is the most important thing, because it doesn't make any sense to work on ideas that maybe not working from the first beat on. And I think I managed that quite well over the years, I would say.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially between 10 albums worth of work and being able to show that off with both the Chronicles of Eden 1 and 2 now, I mean, you really get to hear that cohesiveness that's going on, and of course changes going forward. I mean, like just being able to expand the sounds, and I think the acoustic versions are a great example of that. But yeah, I mean, you can really hear it when you listen to this. You can hear the confidence that you have when it comes to the songwriting and arrangement and everything that's going on, but also learning that critical aspect that you talked about too. Like if a riff is not working, then after a while it's not worth working on that riff anymore. Like either toss it to the side or just scrap it all together. You will learn that eventually the more that you do songwriting like that. And especially with the last 5 albums that have been going on here, I mean, I can really hear that confidence getting stronger and stronger every time, and it really shows off in the songs.
Yeah, thanks. That's great to hear. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, you have to, there is, of course, as a songwriter, you always progress. You're progressing, and it's always often to do the unexpected, as I said before. I mean, I think I mentioned that in a lot of interviews in the past, but not going one step forward would be for me is going one step back, and I think this is the important thing, to always move forward, letting new ideas in, working on stuff you haven't done before, and I think this is what makes it interesting to continue as a songwriter. I think this is the point. If I'm always standing on the same point, what is the reason to do the same thing again on the next album just because the fans are accepting it from you? I mean, there are a lot of artists, of course, who do well with this process and exactly delivering what the fans are expecting from them. But for me, it's always doing the unexpected, but not, of course, losing our original sound. I think this is the most important thing. Keeping the sound, of course, but to be recognizable for the fans, but always go one step ahead.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. I mean, just maintaining that core sound of the band that brought people interested in the first place, but being able to expand and see what works, what doesn't work. And again, that's what's got me so excited about the next album, and hearing that you've got some heavier songs and you got some heavier inspiration going on so far, and just being able to explore more of that side. I mean, that's not taken away from more of the softer side or the more majestic side that Edenbridge brings to the table, but, just being able to kind of focus on one little area for an album and just being able to divulge a little bit more in that while maintaining that sound, I think that is so good when it comes to creativity, because it kind of forces you as well, too, to be able to maintain what made you a band and a songwriter in the first place, but still being able to adapt.
Absolutely, yeah. I couldn't put anything more to that what you said.
Oh, yeah. And, it's, despite everything that's going on in the world right now, obviously with music and so many tours and shows had to be canceled last year, almost everything except for the first couple months. And then, not knowing when things are going to get back to any kind of normalcy coming up in the future. I do appreciate that we still live in a time of age where we can listen to music, be it stream it, being able to buy the vinyl, buying CD, whatever the case is, and just being able to continue support of bands. And, while waiting for the next Edenbridge album, the fact that the Chronicles of Eden Part 2 is just coming out in a couple days, and, newcomers to the band will be able to explore the last 5 albums, and then when they realize it says Part 2 in the title, they'll be able to go back and look at that best of and see what they missed on that. And, it feels like a good time waiting for the next album to be able to release something like this.
Yeah, I guess there will be a lot of albums to be released soon, of course, because all the artists, of course, were forced to write new stuff because they couldn't tour. Well, in our case, we actually planned to tour in April 2021, but we moved that into 2022. In November, because you cannot make any plans at the moment, and I think it's better to focus on really writing and recording the new album then, and then at a certain point announce the tour and also the new album. And I think it's better not to make any plans at the moment, and well, let's see if you can make plans for 2022. So everything is uncertain nowadays, and let's see how things will turn out.
Oh, for sure. And I really hope that does happen next year. And of course it is a bummer that you aren't able to tour behind the Chronicles of Eden Part 2 this year, a couple months after release, and being able to do somewhat of a best of show, being able to support the release. But, I think, again, being able to release something like this, especially for new fans, are going to be able to enjoy these songs, pick out favorites, and get really excited for when live shows come back. And then when you have the next album, I think they're going to be even more excited to be able to see what's going on with the band and want to be able to see more.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, we haven't really toured for the last studio album because we just did some shows in China. Which was actually before the release, and then we had the 2 shows on the 70,000 Tons of Metal cruise, and then everything came to a halt, and so we haven't even promoted the last record. So it will be a lot of new stuff then to be promoted with the next album, and let's see when this will be.
Oh, Yeah, and again, I really hope that it does happen. But, in the meantime, I do appreciate that so much work and effort went into the Chronicles of Eden Part 2. I mean, being able to re-record some songs, be able to put on just an incredible best of for the last 5 albums, and being able to show off where the band is in this stage right now, and then everything to look forward to with the next album, hopefully coming out next year, given everything works out the right way. I mean, there's a lot of exciting things to be able to look forward to, and it was great to be able to talk to you about all of that, talking about this best of, potentially what happens in the future. It was just great to be able to catch up and talk about all that.
Yeah, it's always, I think, being creative and letting things go, and it was a very productive year in 2019, because I also wrote my first symphony, which was supposed to be premiered live in July 2020. This was also postponed to 2021. And let's see if this is going to happen this year, or maybe also have to be postponed one more year. So yeah, we'll see.
Oh, very much so. And all you can do is just hope for the best. Hopefully, the world can adapt and be able to bring back some kind of normalcy. And being able to have that live symphony show, being able to support the last Edenbridge album, the best of, and obviously the next album when that phase comes out, being able to do something like that. But again, until then, it's great to see this best of collection, so new fans, older fans are able to appreciate what you got going on, and it's out just in a couple days on the 15th, and it was great to be able to talk about all that with you.
Yeah, it was great to talk to you.